Hey yo, what up, what up? It's your boy Mots, and this is the new edition of the W.E.S.T podcast, wrestling, entertainment, sports, and travel. Again, I'm your host, Real Mots, at Real Mots. Pretty excited because this weekend is NXT Battleground, a pretty huge pay-per-view for NXT because if you're not in the know, there's this thing called the Forbidden Door where wrestlers from other companies come into other companies and, have matches and pretty good matches at that. It's kind of like dream matches that you wish you'd see. So this weekend is Battleground, and of course, I'll get into that a little bit later. But I'm even more excited because next week is the reunion of the Spiel. That's right, your boy Ronnie Royal, Sam 360, and yours truly will reunite for an old school episode of a three-man show and how we used to do it back in the day, a couple years back, the Spiel, when we used to have the sports and entertainment podcast. Hopefully y'all are doing good. It's a great weekend. Had a little June gloom, but we made it through. So mostly sunny for the rest of the way. And with no further ado, let's get into the top news.
The big story of the week was this.
Okay, so last week I talked about WWE contracts that were expiring and coming due, having to be renewed, including Becky Lynch, Chad Gable, and my favorite Ricochet, which I hope he leaves and goes to AEW where he can be featured more. But this time there's an AEW contract that's about to expire in August, between August, September-ish, and that's Penta El Cero Miedo, or Pentagon Jr. He's part of Death Triangle and one half of the Lucha Brothers with Rey Fenix. So that's going to be interesting because AEW, they've been featuring Penta in a lot of matches and they've been giving him a lot of shine, and it's probably, I would say, making up for underexposing him in the past, and probably want to give him more shine and show him that he could play a bigger role in AEW going forward, that they're going to pay more attention to them. That's what I think. But ultimately, too, what it's doing is it's showcasing him for WWE, who, like I said, is really, really interested in signing Penta. So we'll have to see what comes of that. But as you know, wrestling is on Saturday through Saturday. So we're going to go through the week and see who is.
Week.
That's right. We're going to take you through the shows. And we are going to see which one of the shows had its best week. So we start off Saturday with Collision. And you had Will Ospreay defending his international championship versus Kyle O'Reilly, formerly of the Undisputed, kind of going his own way now. He wants to be a good guy. So it was a great match, and they all left it in the ring. But in the end, Will Ospreay defended his title against Kyle O'Reilly. What I think Will Ospreay injured his wrist because he was really, really favoring his wrist after the match, kind of not like in a kayfabe way. He was more favoring it like it really hurt. So maybe he got a stinger. Let's hope he's okay because he's going to be, speaking of Forbidden Door, he's going to be facing Swerve Strickland for the AEW World title at Forbidden Door. So hopefully he's well for that. Also, on Raw, Monday, you had Damian Priest defending his world title against Rey Mysterio. And, of course, there was some interference by the Judgment Day. And the Latin World Order tried to help out. But ultimately, Damian Priest didn't want to. He reluctantly took the help from Judgment Day. And that's pretty much what happened. Also, on a side note, there was a match before with Braun Strowman and Carlito. And the other members of Judgment Day, Finn and JD, tried to come out and, help out. And, of course, Braun Strowman broke through them, and he was about to get to Dom when Liv Morgan stepped in between them, protecting Dom. Like, hey, you're not going to hurt my Dom. So that kind of got some attention there. Liv Morgan obviously wanting Dom to leave Rhea, and we haven't heard from Rhea, but we know when she comes back, mommy is going to be PO'd. So that leads us to, including Tuesday, NXT. This weekend is Battleground at the UFC Center in Las Vegas. So they're trying to, do the whole Vegas thing, cash in on the whole Vegas excitement. They're having Battleground and their Forbidden Door. Jordan Grace on NXT defeated Stevie Turner. She didn't defend the TNA Knockouts Championship, but she had a match against Stevie Turner, made quick work of her, and Roxanne Perez was at ringside. So really, Jordan Grace was sending a message to Roxanne, like, I'm not coming to play, I'm coming to take your NXT Women's title. And you also had the contract signing for the main event at Battleground, which will be for the NXT title. It's going to be your boy Trick Williams defending against All Ego Ethan Page. And, contract signings, sometimes they have violence, brawl erupts. But this time, it kind of ended in a war of words, basically saying Ethan gave a kind of a half-assed apology to Trick Williams. He said, look, I jumped the guys and pushed you into your girlfriend Lash. It wasn't personal, it was business, because you did what I couldn't. You broke out of the spotlight between you and him. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of his name, but it's all about Trick Williams now. But Trick Williams' old boy, I keep wanting to say Apollo Crews. It's not Apollo Crews, but Carmelo Hayes. So Trick, stepped out of Carmelo Hayes' shadow and actually took the spotlight from Carmelo. And what Ethan Page said, look, he said, I'm jealous because I was involved in tag teams or, under somebody's shadow. I never got the opportunity to rise above and step out from under somebody's shadow like you did. So I got offered a spot and I took it. That's all I did. I took the opportunity. So we're not too different. So that's why I'm coming after that title, because now that you have the NXT title, you got a big target on your back, and I'm giving the Forbidden Door or the open door to take that shot, and I'm just taking my shot. That's all he said. So that was a pretty cool promo by Ethan Page. Ethan Page is really underrated. He is really good on the mic. So that's going to be something to watch tomorrow. That's going to be NXT Battleground. And Dynamite, Wednesday, you had MJF returning finally and, finally speaking his mind. And pretty much he called out Swerve Strickland, Okada, and he called out Will.Ospreay. And out comes Roosh, the Bull. And Roosh kind of had it up to here. And so, MJF said a few kind of respectful things about MJF, but then said, we don't give a damn about what you say because we can't understand you, and I'm going to beat your you-know-what if we get in this ring. So that caused a brawl. They had to be separated, so it looks like it's probably going to be MJF in his first match back against Roosh. It's kind of like a tune-up, plus it's Forbidden Door, and I guess Roosh is kind of under CMLL, and before, this kind of should have been in the breaking news, but CMLL is kind of like Lucha. Well, it is a Lucha Libre type company, Mexican-based, Hispanic-based. And before, they were kind of not willing to deal with the whole Forbidden Door thing. But apparently Tony Khan worked it out. So now that more of the CMLL stars will be able to have matches at Forbidden Door along with superstars from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's going to be cool. In the main event, Swerve had a title defense against Roderick Strong, who recently lost the international title to Will.Ospreay. So that's going to be, kind of cool to watch. It's going to be Will.Ospreay versus Swerve at Forbidden Door. I'm really looking forward to that because that's kind of a dream match now. TNA Wrestling. TNA combining with WWE now. But in this episode, you had Nick Nemeth taking on Kazarian. And Kazarian was kind of doing a favor for the system, who was trying to get rid of Nick Nemeth and his brother. So they kind of have an easier path to defending the TNA tag team titles against the Nemeth brothers. So anyway, Nick Nemeth gets the win, formerly Dolph Ziggler, in case y'all don't know. So Nick Nemeth got the win, and then of course the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards attack him, and his brother Ryan comes out. Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth's brother, Dolph Ziggler's actual brother, comes out. He jumps in, but now it's 3-on-2, so they get kind of messed over. But then, out of nowhere comes Say His Name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. So, I'm actually cool with Joe Hendry. I like the whole thing. It took me a while to like get on board with it, but I'm actually digging the whole Joe Hendry gimmick. I like it. So Joe Hendry comes out, looks like he's saving the day. He's smashing everybody, smashing Moose, smashing Edwards, smashing Myers. But then Alicia Edwards, you know, you can't hit a woman, so she kind of stops Joe in his tracks. And the System get the drop on him too. And at the end of the episode, it looks like the System is standing tall over Joe Hendry. So let's go to Rampage. So my boys, Bullet Club Gold, were back in action, back in full strength with the return of Juice Robinson. They had a trios match. It was Juice and the Guns versus some, you know, jobber guys, some amateur guys. And they let Juice basically start and finish the match. Juice made short work of the other tag team. So Juice is a really big dude. If you haven't seen him in on TV or in real life, Juice Robinson is like 6 foot, almost 300 pounder, and but he moves like a 250 pound guy, and that guy, yeah, he can go. So Juice basically made light work of the trio, the other trio, and basically at the end of the match, Switchblade Jay White said, "You're now 1/4 of the trio's champion." So they all are the trio's champion. The 4 of them are the 3-man champion together. So how that works out mathematically, you figure it out. I'm not gonna. But the main event was Mina Shirakawa defeating Serena Deeb, and that was a pretty okay match. But she's gonna be facing Toni Storm at Forbidden Door for the women's AEW championship, and unfortunately, Mariah May is kind of caught in the middle because Mariah May is Shirakawa's former tag team partner and currently Toni Storm's understudy, I guess, pupil. And so Mariah May is trying to make peace between champion and challenger, and so they kind of have an uneasy ceasefire going on. So that's kind of cool to see that tug of war for Mariah May's attention. Okay, so on to SmackDown. And in the main event, you had a 6-man tag team. It was the Bloodline, the Guerrillas of Destiny and Solo Sikoa versus the Street Profits and KO. It ended in a DQ because Solo used the chair. And then all heck broke loose. It was a brawl. Bloodline got the best of Street Profits and KO, so they looked tall. I mean, they were standing tall at the end of it. And so that's how you got SmackDown to come to a close. So, in all of that, who was... You know what? I'm going to give it to... I'm going to have to give it to TNA. Because TNA, the one company that's benefiting off of everything that happened this week and this coming Sunday is TNA, because now that opens the door, the forbidden door for TNA other wrestlers to come in. As a matter of fact, Trick Williams, even on a podcast, said he's offering not an open challenge, but he's challenging anybody. He'll face anybody from TNA that wants to come to NXT, which is cool because you got Moose, who's the TNA champion. And I don't know, I like Trick Williams. He's a new up-and-coming star. I don't know if he wants that Moose work. So, anyway, speaking of work, I'm going to let this promo go to work, and then we're going to come back to work with Mott Sports West and What You Watching. Peace.
Are you tired of your low credit score holding you back? Do you want to get approved for a credit card, a car loan, or a mortgage? Well, Credit Repair folks can help. Our personalized credit repair service can help your credit get moving in a positive direction quickly and easily. Our specialists will work with you one-on-one to come up with a personalized plan to help remove negative items from your credit report and add positive points to your score. You can get started today by calling 323-626-0289 or going to creditrepairfolks.com. We offer 1 full year of service for just $2.99 and payment plans are available. So don't wait. Call for your free consultation today. That's 323-626-0289 or go to creditrepairfolks.com. We're so confident in our service, we offer a 45-day money-back guarantee. That's creditrepairfolks.com.
Our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked.
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
All right,
I
y'all.
don't care if you don't
It's
have
that
anything.
time. We're back with Mott Sports West, where we talk all of your LA's teams. Lakers, Dodgers, Rams. We give you the up-to-date on what you need to know about all of those. So let's start off with the Rams. Basically, the Rams are in preseason workouts. They just finished up OTAs. And pretty much the big takeaways are, one thing that we know about Sean McVay, he's not trying to break anybody before the season starts. He's not trying to put guys he's not trying to overwork his guys, because he'd rather have a full, healthy squad going into the season rather than a well-practiced, basically on the verge of running them into the ground kind of team. And we saw what happened 2 years ago in 2022, what that leads to. That leads to a 5-12 record when you don't have all your guys healthy or your guys just getting injured left and right. So basically he let the most of the vets kind of rest in practice because he wanted them together mentally, including right tackle Sean Haverstein and running back Kyron Williams, who is suffering from toe soreness. So he wants them healthy for the start of the season. They also hired a team psychologist for mental health because even Sean McVay, having gone through that a couple years ago, Les Snead and ownership wanted him to kind of maybe take a year or two off to, really deal with his mental health. And Sean McVay kind of got it together. He said, "No, I don't need it. I'm back football, 100%. So they hired a psychologist to help the players with their mental health in case they have mental health needs. And they would like them to do that, then turning to alcohol or other drugs like normal. So pretty much those are the takeaways. What's next for the Rams is June 10th and 12th is mini camp. So we'll just wait for that. Pretty much that's next week. And that's that for the Rams. So the Lakers. A lot of people have been hearing the rumors that they're waiting for J.J. Redick and the NBA playoffs to get done so they can officially hire J.J. Redick. But it came out this past week that they've actually been trying to get UConn's Dan Hurley to leave UConn and come and coach the Lakers. So we don't know where that's going, if that's just something to say during the, something to say during the off season or during the time. So they're while they're waiting for JJ, because if you just go out and hire JJ, it's gonna look like it's been JJ all along. So at least the Lakers could say, hey, we interviewed other candidates, and out of all the candidates we interviewed, JJ Redick's our guy. Not because it's a LeBron thing or clutch sports. It's we did our homework, we did our background checking, we explored all of our options, and JJ Redick's our guy. So maybe Dan Hurley may be the coach and JJ Redick may be an assistant, or it may be flip-flop where JJ Redick's the head coach and they be trying to talk Dan Hurley into an assistant position. So I think we're going to see more once the playoffs are over. So That's that for the Lakers. Dodgers beat the Yankees 2-1 last night in their first meeting since 2016 in Brooklyn. Fans were really hyped for that one. Dodgers and Yankees, everybody gets up for that game. Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, was saying it felt like a game in October. And after 10 innings, which Teoscar Hernandez pitched 7 scoreless innings of that game, in the 11th inning, Hernandez actually hit the game-winning ball that drove in the game-winning run and helped the Dodgers win. Game 2 is today at 4:30 p.m., first pitch. So that's going to be, if you missed last night's game, I'm pretty sure this game is going to be intense. Both teams are actually doing good this year. Both are expecting to make the playoffs, so that's going to be cool when you see, if we get to see a Dodgers versus Yankees matchup. That's what every baseball fan is hoping for, unless you're an Astros fan. And if you're an Astros fan, kick rocks. All right, with that, we're going to go from watching baseball to just what you watching. All right, so for those of you that know, and for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge sci-fi Star Wars fan, and Star Wars released a new series called The Acolyte, which takes place several hundred years before the whole Skywalker thing started, before the Phantom Menace. And this kind of starts where the Force or the Jedi were just running the galaxy, and not by running the galaxy, I don't mean like running roughshod over the galaxy. They were abundant and they were keeping peace throughout the galaxy. They were helping the New Republic expand. They weren't necessarily under the control of the New Republic. They were kind of like individual little sheriffs that would just help people in need. They were kind of like your sheriff, your fire department, your paramedics. They would just go wherever they were needed and just help out and use their abilities. And this is after they had thought they had driven the dark side out of the known galaxy. But this is the part where the Jedi prosperity ends and the dark side coming back begins. So this is going to lead up to how Emperor Palpatine kind of got into his power, and the Sith Lords that came before him. I know I'm probably getting real wordy in the explanation, but pretty much it's where the fall of the Jedi starts. Everybody thought it was like in the Phantom Menace, but by the time the Phantom Menace came around, if you remember, Chancellor Palpatine was already, a representative in that, but he was already in place to take over and do what he did with an apprentice Sith. So he was already well situated. So this is going to kind of show what paved the way for him to sneak into where he got into. I don't like the way they did Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity from the Matrix. They did my girl dirty, but I guess it's kind of like the Game of Thrones thing where maybe they're doing the whole like anybody could get taken out at any time because of what's going on. So that's what it is. Not really doing too much traveling, so we won't talk about that. I'm just going to say I'm looking forward to next week and the Spiel reunion. So with that, I'm just going to say peace.